Hi everybody, it's Peter Zellens, Griniflix Adventure 8. Welcome to another video. Today I'm shooting the Nikon D500. Okay, so now why am I shooting this camera body is because I got the Z6 as well. This is a crop sensor on the D500. The Z6 is a full frame sensor, full 35mm sensor. One of the features of the full frame Nikon cameras is that you crop it down to DX format, which then extends the focal length of your lens. So I'm using the 70 to 200 on the D500, so effectively that's equivalent to 105 to 300. The question is, so what's better, shooting 20 megapixel on the D500 or on the Z6 DX format with the same lens? The things I'll be testing will be obviously the stills, the motor drive. I'll try and get some sports around the beach and surfing and things, wildlife maybe, and what other things? Video. Yeah, so the Z6 obviously, I'm expecting to be much better video than the D500. Anyway, we'll compare the results and we'll produce this little video for you guys. Now you may be wondering, what are all these sounds? Well, it is sort of, what are we, November? I guess we're coming out of the spring season and going into the summer season. So what you're hearing are frogs and cicadas. Cicadas over here. Frogs over here. And then we've got some more wildlife. And we've got a Leah wildlife here. Oh, it's a Leah.
A live bug and a dead bug.
Ah, okay. The cicada.
On the other side, you've got the live bug.
Oh, that's the cicada. What, and the live bug there? That's a big bug. And the live bug here, spider's having dinner. We've just had lunch, so luckily we're not really after this cicada. I guess there was a bit of experimenting there, shooting DX or FX with a full frame FX Nikon camera. I'm actually videoing with the Z6 right now. So with the Z6, when you're shooting DX, it goes from 24 megapixel down to about 10 megapixel. And that's just literally cropping down full frame down to a smaller part of the sensor. So it's just counting up the number of pixels. The D500, that's a 20 megapixel camera, so that's in the DX format. Okay, we've got another camera here now. We've got the Nikon D850, which is a full frame, which can be shot in FX, full frame FX, or crop sensor DX. It can operate in both modes. Nikon D850 is a 45 megapixel sensor in the full frame FX format. When you shoot in DX, crop mode format on the camera, then the megapixels go down to about 19, which is about, that's 20, that's 19 in DX format, so it's about the same. Where the advantage is in shooting DX mode, more so with the Z6, is that when you're shooting video, because you can shoot 4K full frame video with the Z6, and if you crop down to the DX format, then you still can shoot 4K video in the DX format. So you can take advantage of the extension of the focal length of the lens that you're using on the Z6. That's an advantage on the Z6. And being a mirrorless camera, it's having in-body image stabilization. It means you can get good video. Particularly if you're using Z lenses, then you've got the silent autofocus, and the autofocus works really well. So there's no doubt that the Z system is ideal for video, in addition to stills. Video is just another function on the DSLR cameras, on the D8, on the D500 as well as the D850. What I'm finding, if I'm going to use video on any of these DSLR cameras, then the best results with F lenses is just, in my opinion, is just putting into manual focus. And then use manual focus, otherwise the focus just goes all over the place and hovers and does weird things. So the most predictable way of getting good video is to use manual focus, as far as I'm concerned, on the DSLR cameras. The 4K, so the D850, when you're doing video in FX full frame 4K, that works fine. Again, manual focus gives you the best results. If you go into the DX format, then you also operate 4K in that as well, so you can take advantage of the focal length extension when you're using a crop sensor. Something unusual about the D500 with video is that as soon as you go into video format, it does another crop. You still get 4K, but it's on a crop sensor 4K, which is fine, still getting the full 4K video. But what it means is that all of a sudden you have to then, your focal lengths on your lenses become longer again. So in this case here, I've got the 24 to 70, to just say 70 for example. 70 millimeters on a crop sensor, which is a D500. You times that by 1.5, that becomes 105 millimeter focal length. So basically, instead of 24 to 70, it becomes 36 to 105. So when you shoot video, it's cropped again 1.5. So that 105 now becomes just over 150 focal length. So 36 and times by 1, so that becomes from about 50 to 150 focal length. So just something to be aware of when you are using crop sensors, and depending on the camera, whether it actually crops again if you're using video format. I guess in summary is being able to shoot on a full frame camera, being able to shoot in a crop sensor mode. Yes, it does help if you want to take advantage of an extended focal length, but you do lose a lot of the quality because it literally crops down. So in the case of the Z6, went down from 24 megapixel down to 10. I mean, you get the same result in post-processing, That's the point, isn't it? Do you just crop down later on when you're on the computer in post-process? Or do you actually select the DX mode, crop sensor mode, during the shooting process? My attitude prior to this little video was just to shoot full frame, maximum sensor size, maximum image, and then if I want to crop down later on, I'll do that on the computer. Has my attitude changed towards that? With regards to stills, no. I just shoot full frame whenever I can and then do the cropping later on. Where it's become obvious that it's possibly worth considering using a crop sensor on a full frame on the Z system is for videoing, because you can still get 4K. So if you're lacking the lens that you want, then effectively you've got this extension you can do in 4K video by using the crop sensor feature of the Z system. That's a distinct advantage which I will take advantage of with the Z system camera. That is also true for the D850. Does that make sense? Hope it does. So in summary, I will continue to use just full frame for stills, and then if I'm doing video on a full frame camera like the Z system or the D850, and I need to get that extra reach in the lens that I have, if I can't change the lens, then I can shoot in DX format and still get 4K video. That's a summary. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If it's the first time to my channel, you haven't already subscribed, then please do subscribe. That really helps the channel, of course. Press notifications, you'll be notified when the next video is out. Thanks again for watching, and see you on the next video. Cheers. Bye.